you want a fire strike? Or wait, you already fire strike. Okay, so you move up. Instead of moving to the side like this, you take extra time when you do it. Just move up straight forward. If you take damage, you can dodge fire strikes, so you don't give him like the enemy Reinhardt charge. But if someone else spams you, like someone shoots at you, you give ult charge to healers, so that's totally fine. And you want to save your fire strike until you arrive right here, because instead of fire striking one person, you can usually fire strike like this and you catch 2-3 persons and you get a lot more ult charge. And you want to move up before your shield goes low, so at this moment move forward, check if someone is in lobby. This is lobby. Check if someone is to your right, and you can use the third person camera to do it really easy. You just hold both mouse buttons and then you spin, and then you keep moving up. You swing at the enemy Reinhardt, but not too much because there's a widow. And once you get fire strike again, line of sight here, or say I'm gonna fire strike, line of sight, go back in, fire strike, and then just bully the Reinhardt like that. And you play it slow, but you have pressure. Hey Peak, do you have any advice for ladder anxiety dealing with toxicity? My main issue with Overwatch is that if people lose their cool in comp games, it basically ruins the experience for me. So ladder anxiety, that's really common. The best way to deal with ladder anxiety is by lowering the value of every rank game for yourself. So basically, I think you value rank games way too much, and it puts a pressure on you to perform at the best levels possible. But the more ranked you play, and the more, like, after 1000 games or 2000 games, you're not going to remember that one bad game you had months ago, or you're not going to remember your top 10 worst games. You're only going to remember some of the most recent games, and the ladder anxiety is not gonna disappear, but you're gonna get better at dealing with it. So you wanna try and work on dealing with it and build up your tools to deal with anxiety in general. It sounds a bit harsh, but you have to expose yourself to it. You have to go back in ranked and try to relax. If something bad happens, if it ends up with a loss, that's, it's not the end of the world. I've had 20 losing streaks. I went from almost GM to flat out diamond. Sometimes it happens, and then you just climb back up. And you have to remember that if you were at 1 SR, like let's say that you were at diamond and then you drop down to plat, you can always get back up to diamond, because if you once were there, there's no reason for you to not go back there at some point. And yet, just try to lower the value of each individual game and make it a more relaxed experience for yourself. Then for dealing with toxicity, try to be neutral with people, so that it doesn't. Try to imagine that everyone might have had a bad day, or that they might be easy to trigger, and it's the most common way to give feedback in Overwatch is like by sounding commanding, or by telling someone to not do something or telling them what to do. And if you make it sound like it's a neutral way of talking, like if you talk in a neutral way, it doesn't come off as a personal attack, even if it's not. But someone that's tilted, they take any type of bait to just argue, because they just want to ventilate if sometimes. And you have to also listen to what the person is talking like. If they talk like they just want to argue, then it's not gonna go anywhere, and you might as well just mute them, drop it, try to ignore them, like try to try to go around it, or not go around it, but embrace it as if it's like a kid screaming. Because if you yell at a kid, it's gonna keep screaming, and what you have to do instead is you just distract them. But you have to find out like your way of distracting. I'm not sure if I'm phrasing it correctly. And then if it's a person that wants to win an argument, like if they have some way of thinking and they're really pushing it, like let's say that you should someone says that you should always pin as Reinhardt, and then tells you why you should pin and all that. What you can do is you explain why you don't think you should pin, and you do it in a way that it's okay to agree with your opinion, and you accept their opinion, but you present your own. You know, like normal way of agreeing to disagreeing. And if that doesn't work, you know, you can always mute them. That's what I do. And yeah, try to make it calm for yourself in ranked, and it's gonna remove a lot of toxicity and like bad mindset that you might experience. So again, back to the VOD. Usually in ranked, enemies are placed behind the Reinhardt shield, and you get easy fire strikes that way by waiting here. Keep in mind that fire strike is a long animation, so while you're doing this, someone might get headshot because you're dropping your shield. So just keep in mind to not do always do fire strikes. You want to move you forward to right here or over here, depends. Since they have Widow, you want to move to the statue. Once you're crossing this line of sight, you drop your shields, you recharge, and versus the Doomfist, you just turn around here, you turn like this, and you start swinging his direction, but you don't show yourself versus the Widow here. And he then can't go on you. Your supports just back off, tell them to back off, or watch out Widow. Now, you have 2 people down on enemy team. You just walk up with shield. And don't try to. You don't have to walk backwards, because you have your Zarya with you. So you have people backing you up. The enemy Reinhardt, he's showing that he's backing off. Like he doesn't have the opportunity to decide the pace here. So swing, walk forward. You might walk to the side, but you don't really have to. Keep swinging him. You know, pretend like you're bullying him, and be the worst bully. And here's the number 1 enemy of all Reinhardts. It's the charge button. It might feel good to charge here, but you don't have to. Instead, if you wouldn't walk backwards, walk to the side and then back to the side, you would already be on point. And you're using pin to compensate for that distance you're lacking, or that you missed out on. I think that's usually what makes people go for the pin, because that's what used to make me go for the pins. And as you see, here's the reason why it's the number 1 enemy for Reinhardts. You get slapped, maybe you miss the pin. If you miss the pin, they are gonna turn on you, they might kill you, and your team, they don't have the same speed to catch up with you, and they can't support you. Maybe they get picked off by the Widow, and now you're in a equal situation. And before you had 2 people killed on the enemy team. So you get pinned back, and now you start backing off. But you see your teammates are in front of your shield, so instead of backing off, as a natural, like it's a natural reaction to the low HP, just trust your supports, look around, and walk up here. You have to predict where your supports are positioned since you pinned in, and you can listen to the sound of the shots, their footsteps and all. Like this basically, you just go in and swing. And yeah, avoid pinning. Because you went for the pin, you didn't have shatter, and now the enemy Reinhardt has shatter. And you notice he doesn't go for the pins unless you pin, and that's outplay mechanic as Reinhardt. If you see the enemy Reinhardt pin, and then you sidestep, so he dodges, you turn around and you pin him. What if you can't trust your supports? You have to give them some trust. Maybe not 100%, but you can depends on who you're playing with and all that. But you can give them 40%, 50%, 60%. And 50, like, I'd say 50% is like their positioning. They are in the right position, or like in the right zone at least.
Nice.
You want to recharge your shield as soon as possible. Just walk to the left here. You can also go for the shatter. Like, this is a big, this could be a next level shatter. You shatter the Zarya, pin her, and she's dead. Shatter the Reinhardt and the Zarya, pin the Zarya, kill her, someone else kills the Reinhardt. That's a big shatter. You can bait the enemies walking into your shadow right now. Like, right now, you could press Q, aim straight down, and you stun both these guys. And those they will be easy kills. What do you mean, David? When you see enemy Reinhardt coming to you, you can counter charge, so you don't take the damage. That flicking from the right to the left is easier than...
Oh fuck.
That flicking from right to left is easier than right to left. I guess I don't think it's easier. I think it's only you're more used to flick from right to left on Reinhardt because the animation starts from right to left. And then if you prepare yourself, okay, so it goes like this, boom. So you swing to the left. If you prepare yourself to swing right by this, like by right here, then okay, I don't know. I don't know what you're talking about then. Oh, with hit scan? No, it should be the same. Should be the same. I think it's more if it's only like an individual thing. If it's easier with some other hero. So in StarCraft, for example, this is a if we talk flex for hit scan. So if you have this like anchor point, if you wanna make boxes like on maybe not StarCraft, but like if you wanna flick, easy natural flicks or like natural movements is down, left, and right, like with your wrist. But if the hardest flick is doing upwards, because it's not a natural movement, since you have to like extend your fingers and all that. But it's I guess up and down. Let's see here. Yeah, usually up is usually the difficult flicks. Okay, I'm gonna have to continue with the VOD here. So you wanna look for shatter, and you wanna shield hop to the point. That's a safe shatter. Watch out so you don't overcommit because you're naded. And you wanna shield hop to point. A better shatter would have been to go for the... I guess you could have gone for the... If you stay on point right here and shield, the enemies don't do anything. Shatter on Reinhardt was totally fine. You wanna push out with the bubble as well. And your Zarya saved you with the grav. You wanna push up as Reinhardt? Okay, there's a Bastion. Good thing. Good thing you like backed off. This is totally fine to use Dragon. So when you charge our Bastion, you want to do this. You have to practice this a couple of times. But you wanna drop your shield, jump, and start your charge mid jump, so that when you land, you're already moving in, and that way you take a lot less damage versus a Bastion. Because if you're preparing the jump, you have to like do this like ready movement, and then you go in, but he's gonna take a big chunk of your HP during that time. So if the Widow would headshot you, for example, during that movement, you would be dead. You wanna shatter just anyone right now. Yeah, just reset right now. Good shatter, nice. Nice. Hold the second point like this. Just line of sight. You don't have to do some sig play. And yeah, be careful because your healers need line of sight on you to heal. Nah, it's not a bad habit, David. It's a next level thing. It's actually really good on Reinhardt because you cut the time you're taking damage. Try to shield hop as Reinhardt, just so you move to the enemy quicker. And also, if you don't always have to chase, and during that time you can just drop your shield, line of sight payload, and reset your shield. Be careful with this positioning as well. So as the dragon comes out, instead of standing right here, like if you get booped, you're dead. Just move alongside with the dragon like this, or move up here and hug the wall. Because right here it's easy to boop you. Like if the enemy Reinhardt comes, if he pins you, just swings at you, you're gonna fall down and die. Go for the pin. Nice, good job. That's a perfect fire strike right there. So right here you want to fire strike because there's more than one person or more than two. And you don't want to walk on the other side. On this side, I mean, you want to be on the side where enemies are, so you swing and use your HP. Because instead you don't want to force your Tracer, force your Zen and Zarya to use their HP because you don't use yours. Instead, use your HP as a resource to do damage to the enemies at moments like those. So since you have Zarya and Reaper, you should be on Rein instead, because with Winston they won't be able to help you when you dive in. And you want to save your bubble for when you jump in. You use the bubble to shield as if you were Reinhardt. And when you play Winston, you have to use line of sight more, and so has your team. So it's better if, for example, you have a D.Va, then you can go Winston. This is great. Ah, that's unlucky. I think you can wait a bit more with the bubble here. And you want to use your jump right now to cut off Lucio right here. And reload while you're jumping, so you have enough zaps to kill him. And you jump too late, so you miss him. and you don't get the jump damage, and you land in front of the enemy tanks and they can focus you. This is kind of bad positioning by your teammates, but you can't do anything. Unless you just tell them to walk off. You want to 5-strike earlier as well. Because you want to 5-strike earlier because if everyone walks next to the bus, you have more guaranteed hits. And you can back off earlier as well if they have a Widow, if they have Pharah, if they have Hanzo on high ground. You can go for a charge right here, because it's a short distance charge, and you have this wall blocking, so you don't end up in the enemy backline. You want to reset your shield as well, while the enemy Reinhardt is resetting his shield, because he's coming out with a fresh shield, while your shield is almost dead. And now you're forced to take a fight. And you could have done this exact movement before, but you can also hide behind the cover here. And if you hide, you don't take damage and you recharge, but right now you recharge and you take damage. And just tell your teammates, recharging shield, recharging shield. Nice, good counter charge. Just try and hold shield and stay alive here. Use the phone booth behind you. There's a phone booth you can use, and stand behind it so that your shield recharges, your Mercy can heal, and she can come to you, and then you just go back in when your shield is a bit healthier. Yo, Silkies, how you doing? You want to stay close to point, because if you just leave the Moira, the Zarya to check someone in lobby or hotel, then they will die because enemies will just push in point. Why not? It's a free tech, and then they will damage your shield and you're gonna be late. Moira might die. You wanna stay on point or stay close to point. You tend to give up your teammates' positioning for your own sake, so you try to save yourself instead of giving safety for your teammates so that they can help you save you. It feels like you play Reinhardt like Zarya or like D.Va, because when you play off tank, you focus more on surviving like yourself instead of shielding everyone in the team, and you sort of forget thinking about, or you forget that you have squishes in your team like Mercy, like Moira, that rely on your support or on your shield. And as soon as you've lost second point, you should back off to where Junkrat, or where the Zarya is right now.
Fuck.
Behind cover. And you want to contest the payload before it makes the turn here. You want to contest it right now and be close here. And you can just swing on Reinhardt. It doesn't matter if you lose the fight, because if you stand right here and you all die, you will still have a fight before they cap second point. It's impossible that even if they have free on cart, they will cap before you are able to contest. But since you're letting it push, you won't have a new fight, well, last fight, if you die right now. Good shot, a good pin, and good shatter. The way you look for shatters, it's pretty good. But the way, if you try to be a bit more aggressive, not aggressive, but be more confident as Reinhardt, you will be able to go for more shatters, or like farm your shatter as well, much easier, and then keep doing the same shatters as you've done so far. Then during fights, if you're low on HP, you can be passive, of course, but the way you handled it right now was totally fine. It's more. I'm talking more about when you're holding shield and backing off when you don't have to. Because the enemy Reinhardt, he's bullying you all the time. And versus this diva, like walk up here, like swing at her. You have 500 HP, you have a ton of armor, and you have 2 supports ready to heal you. Right here and right here. Like, you're the VIP right now. And you even have Zarya bubbles. You go in with a bad timing, because if you go in earlier, enemies won't be respawning and running back into the best position possible, and you force out barrage before they can stack burst damage, and you just stay alive a lot longer. Good block. If you want to shield hop, drop your shield. If you want to back off while you're if you want to back off while you're blocking shatter, don't jump, because if you jump and the shatter goes under your shield, it's gonna kill everyone behind you. The same happens when you're on Brigit and you want to block shatter. You don't jump, because then you're gonna get stunned. And if you want to jump, you might as well drop your shield so you move faster. Because you don't move faster even if you hold your shield up. And you don't shield anyone right here. You have 1, 2, 3, 4 people in front of your shield. You might as well be fire striking or just swinging right now up here. So like, be more confident in your Reinhardt. Keep in mind you have a ton of HP, and you can take a lot of damage. You have support from your team as well. Everyone in your team was in front actually. Right now you want to play this corner. Don't cross this line. Instead be on this side of the line.
What?
Use the payload as line of sight, right here, just like your teammates. That way you don't have to put them out at risk to die. Just keep swinging right now. You're being pocketed as well, but you don't notice it. So just trust, yeah. I'm just repeating everything right now. These charges shouldn't be like, if you feel confident enough to charge in like this, you should feel confident enough to walk in without the shield, walk in and swing, but these charges will kill you. And it also kills the team because they lose cover. Which weapon are you gonna go for, David? Yo, by the way, Ernest.
Anna, boost me, okay?
How's your day so far? And the Anna Nano shouldn't go on you because it's more valuable on Winston, so he has Primal. He actually has Primal ready. Let's see, what else is ready? So Primal is ready. Nano is not needed on Winston when he does when he has Primal.
Boost me, okay?
Let's see. I'd say Nano is best on Reaper right now, and then on you, because you have to keep in mind you don't swing much, so you're not gonna do damage with the Nano. If you want to make use of the Nano, you have to be much more aggressive as Reinhardt. I'm pretty good, Ernest. Today is a short stream. I'm gonna be on a podcast later today, and I'll host it on I'll host the channel on my Twitch here. But yeah, it's only I'm just gonna do this VOD, and then some questions in chat, and yeah, a bit of a short day, but hopefully I'm thinking about going back online, doing more VOD reviews after the podcast, but I'm not sure yet. It's gonna be a tactical crouch with kick tripod, Yisk and Volamel. Nice counter charge. Be careful with positioning your back to the dragon. So the dragon comes out, you wanna swing instead of fire striking, because it's just more damage. You get more damage per second if you swing. And you move out before the dragon is finished, and you take some damage. And yeah, you see how the enemy Reinhardt, he just moves in and swings all the time. That's how you should do it. It makes it a lot easier for your DPS, for your support, so and the off tank to do more damage, heal more, stay alive longer. Nothing much you could do about that, F. Yeah, I think if you are more aggressive as Reinhardt, you will have more shatters, you will do more damage, your team will be able to push in a lot easier, and your enemy, it won't feel as if your enemies are constantly damaging you all the time. Also, when I mean aggressive, I'm not talking about insane pins, I'm talking about holding W, shield hopping, and then swinging a bit more. You do more damage by swinging than fire striking, but that's if you don't get like 3 to 5 hits on your fire strike. Like if you get more than 3 hits on a fire strike, that's insane. That's like a ton of full charge. And it all depends on what comp you're facing. If you're facing triple tank, goats, etc., you can go for more fire strikes. If you're facing 2-2, dive, etc., you can go for more swings. And save the pins as a last resort, basically the last ability you use either to escape or to finish off someone, and you want to go for short distance, like this. Short distance pins. For an example, short distance is from here to this wall. Medium distance is more than this wall, and then long distance, that's like when you travel for like 5 seconds. And yeah, I think you're doing great when you use shatter. You have fine shatters, and you do shatters on the payload. You find shatters on 2 people, important targets, etc. But you don't have as many shatters as you could have. So try to focus on that, and you'll notice immediate improvements on Reinhardt. And it's really fun to play Reinhardt when you have a ton of support like this. Like you can do 30k damage in one match, or like 40k damage. You can do even 50k damage as Reinhardt when you have sick fire strikes and swing and just go for a ton of shatters. Like you can get 2 shatters per fight. Yeah, this VOD was from Finbob.